Hello. Hi. Welcome, welcome. I am under the weather, but I was at my computer. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, if I'm at my computer to play something, I might as well hang out. Hang out on stream, since I didn't get to do like any of the streams I had planned last week. So, day one of vacation is going grand. So ready for vacation. So glad my body decided to throw a fit right when I got to be on vacation. I had steak tonight though. I was craving it, and my mom made the point, was like, you're on vacation. You're supposed to spend money on vacation. I was like, you know, you're right. I'm gonna go get myself a steak dinner and bring it home. And so I did. I got a 12-ounce ribeye. And it was juicy and red and delicious. Oh, I almost knocked my water over. Okay, we're moving that. Moving the water. Water is in a bad spot. Also, the chat does not line up on the chatting screen with the chatting box. You know, this is what I get for using pre-made assets that I've not had custom made, but I'm figuring it out. I want the Halloween vibes. They fit me better than the other vibes. But we're also playing Citizen Sleeper because I love this game. I still don't have the second one. The second one's won an award, actually. I really need to get the second one. Maybe I'll buy that this week. I'm spending money, but I'm going to the beach at the end of the week, so I'm trying not to spend too much money until then, and then I'll go all out. On the way to the beach, we're stopping at this place that does mochi donuts. I've never had a mochi donut, but I really want one, and I found this place, and I was like, it's on the way to the beach. We're gonna make a pit stop and get some mochi donuts. How's everybody? How's everybody doing? Why am I invisible on all my screens today? Why did I set it up that way? Oh well. Anyway. I have done a whole lot of nothing today. I woke up. So, because yesterday was worst. I could not do anything yesterday. I was basically in bed all day. Couldn't even really look at my phone. I was so nauseous and dizzy, and I finally got like some soup in me, but I was like, I'm gonna have to take a sleep pill because like I can't do anything. I'm so uncomfortable. I feel like poop. So I took one of my sleep pills, which meant that I slept like the dead for a good while. I always wake up like my back hurts from how hard I slept. I got up at like 10, ate cereal because I wasn't nauseous anymore, but I still didn't feel great. Fed the animals, went back to bed, woke up at 4. Now, granted, when I was laying in bed, I laid in bed probably from like 11 to 1 on my phone, and I think a little bit on my Switch, and then passed out till 4 o'clock. I was like, damn. So I've been up since 4. It's now like 9, almost 9, slightly before 9. So that was I'm feeling so much better than I was yesterday, but I'm still not 100%. I'm like super dizzy and out of it. So that's also why we're playing a text-based game, because I don't think I could handle a game that has a lot of input on my eyes. What am I trying to say? A lot of like motion and moving around, and too much like going on screen, I think would just make me, I'm already dizzy, I don't need to make it worse. But I wanted to stream, and I love me some Citizen Sleeper, and I haven't played it in so long, so I was like, alright, text-based game in space. Let's do it. Let's have some Citizen Sleeper fun. which I haven't even opened the game yet. Actually, what do I got here? I also need to play Slay the Spire on stream again. I haven't done that. Hi, Hamua. Thank you. Yeah, I'm on the up and up, I hope. I just feel really out of it today, but I've been able to eat. Had some good dinner. Even a little bit of dessert. I had a slice of apple pie with some ice cream on it for dessert. And some decaf coffee. But, yep, that's been my day. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Aw, 37 stream streak. Oh no. And thank you for the 6 months. Ooh. But, that sucks. I wish I could like restore streaks. Be like, you missed one. I feel like you deserve to like get it back or something. I think I just need to auto-publish VODs instead of going in and publishing them myself. I'm always scared I'm gonna get like a copyright for whatever reason, even though I don't use anything copyrighted. And so that's why I try not to. That's why I don't have my VODs just auto-post. But I haven't had any issues with them in a long time, so maybe I should just turn auto-post back on. Because I'm pretty sure if you miss a stream, you have like a day to watch the VOD, and I think it'll help you. It keeps your streak, but I always forget to publish my VODs. And I'm sure that's not helpful at all. But thank you so much for the 6-month sub. That's amazing. Whenever I say that shit, I make hearts with my hands. You guys can't see that. You guys can't see the hearts I'm making at you all the time. I do a lot of hand gestures when I talk, and you guys don't get to see that. I'm a hand talker. I'm one of those people that like everything I say, like I'm using my hands right now and you can't even see it. Everything I say uses my hands. And you don't get to see that. That's what happens when, never mind. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that. Have any of you ever played Citizen Sleeper? Hi, Lint. Hi. Welcome. If you've not played Citizen Sleeper, it is text-based. It gets some of its what's the word I'm looking for? Some of its inspiration from like Disco Elysium. So you have choices in your responses to people, and it uses dice. But instead of rolling a dice for each choice, you roll your dice at the start of the day and get to use those numbers throughout the day. So if you might get a choice where you don't have the number on the dice you need to make that choice because you've already used it. And it's set in a space station. I'm gonna open up the game now. Actually, it's the thing, I forgot to do that first. I try to have the game open before I start stream so stream doesn't drop. Okay. I don't remember how much music it has. We'll find out. I do need to make it capture the game. Now I need to move myself. Might be helpful. Put myself in the corner. Make myself a little bit bigger though. That's also because it takes place in like space, on like a space station. That's why I have the TechWear outfit on today. All right, we're good. I can move this back over here. All right, if it has too much music, we'll turn off the background music I have, but all right, I kind of want to play a new game. It's been a really long time since I last played, plus I want to show you guys this game. Apparently I also have this one. Anyways. The dice is the least helpful part of Disco Elysium. Yeah. Because, I mean, it definitely can fudge you up, but I guess that's the point, is they want to give it some random chance. So it's like this, like there's some random chance to it, but it's also allows you to kind of like, it's almost like strategic resource use, because you know, like, okay, I only have this many dice, like, do I want to use, like, you know, what you want to use, because you don't know what you're going to need later. All right, so you do have some character choices a little bit. So there is the operator. They work with drones and high precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Okay, that was another thing. Sleepers. So this is the second playthrough. This is, yeah, I've started it, I think, like a total of either 2 or 3 times. I don't think I've ever fully completed the game, but I've gotten pretty far in one of my playthroughs. So that's why I also want to start over, because I'm like, I can make choices with you guys instead of just what I'm going to do. Because if I'm left to my own devices, there is a very specific storyline I'm going to play. And I need to explore other options, but I love, there's the one storyline that I absolutely love in this. But sleepers. So sleepers are like people who have basically sold themselves to capitalism. You are not your own person. You are owned by a company. You're not in your own body. You're basically like I don't know if it's your brain, your essence, your soul has been put into this body, for the purpose of working. So there's a chance to gain Cryo on interface auctions. I don't quite remember what that stands for, but your skills are, so this will be like you get a +1 to certain things. So working with digital interfaces, you can get a +1. So which helps out. Say you have a choice, you can have 2 choices and you need a higher dice roll, but you don't have it, that +1 could help you. And then, but -1 to use strength or strength of will. That's the operator. Then we have extractor. They work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Perk, photosynthetic skin. You can sunbathe dice action allows energy recovery at home. You got a +1 to use of strength or strength of will, and -1 to approaching problems with awareness. And then we have the machinist. Machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Efficient extractor, chance to gain random scrap item on engineer actions. The +1 to engineer, working with machines and physical tools, and -1 to approaching problems head on. Like operator is the original like base one. I think machinist was one of these, I think was added after, and I think it was machinist, but I can't remember. Oh, let's see. So this one would be good if we're working with the digital interfaces. This one would be good if we're doing something that requires strength. I think the extractor I also like because of the photosynthetic skin. but I can't remember. It's been so long, I can't really remember what the energy and everything allows you to do. I might go extractor. Unknown, where are you? The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. So yes, this is going to be text heavy. There's not voice acting, so I will be reading everything. So bear with me because I will probably have to take breaks because my voice. And I have water here. But I figure reading, like I said, since I'm unwell and very dizzy, reading is a lot easier than playing an action-based game with a lot of movement and buttons to press. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. So think of that body or forget that body. Let's forget it. We're gone. It's gone now. We don't have that body anymore. You resist nostalgia. It is pointless, especially now. This is the moment to reach out, not curl inwards. This is your moment of escape, even if it feels immediately like you traded one prison for another, smaller, colder, lifeless. Reach out. You almost laugh, or you would if there was room or even air to do so. The walls of the container are immediately present. Cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message, delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the plan or remember the others? What's the plan? You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourselves in containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock, even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Wait for the cold or try to rest? Just try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left, surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. Oof. Wave of dizziness. Give me a sec. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence, your joints release from their rigor. Sound, too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering, so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light. White as the cold, softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow, figure appears. You are out. Woot woot. Ugh. So yeah, this, I also like the art. Like, it's limited art, but it's good art. Oh, I can't move it yet. Oh yeah, I can. Okay, I have to mouse scroll. So you'll find this out as we play, but you are on a wheel-shaped like space station. Can't remember how far I can go yet. Yeah, you can't go too far yet, but you unlock more as you explore and go. Dragos, pragmatic salvager. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. I know, like, pragmatic in context, but I don't know, like, the actual full definition of it. Things I need to learn. See, I need to write these down so I can look it up later. I'm gonna end up needing to go for more water before long. Drinking the heck out of this. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, Sleeper, you all thawed yet? You drink. It is good to keep your mouth moist when you're talking. Your mouth needs the hydration. Just practical? Okay. Between being dizzy and talking a lot, the water is gonna go down fast. You all thought, yeah, I can stay silent or I can speak up. Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in Sub-Zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his head set with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. I plan to survive. What happened to them? Stay silent. We plan to survive, right? That's the whole point. We've escaped our capitalistic overlord. We've gotta survive. That's another thing I like about this is like your first playthrough, you are piecing a lot of stuff together because it doesn't just like tell you from the get-go what a sleeper is, but everybody's calling you one. And you could kind of get the fact that you're like, it gives you hints like you're not in your body. Your body seems to be computerized or robotic in nature. Plan to survive. Bit of an eeper yourself. That was me all day. Didn't wake up till 4 p.m. You aren't sure if he hears you. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now. And you were just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. Yeah. It's like you are not. It's basically slavery, I guess. Futuristic slavery. Honestly, not too far off, right? Not too far off from our own world. You nod along, you remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells. The promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it, that body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. S&ARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well then no one can. Planned obsolescence. Oh, it says it. It says it in the next paragraph. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. Obsolescence? Why can I not? I know this word. Why is the pronunciation not coming to me? A built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down. Separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away, towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. I like this, like, there's so many stay silent options, you just not talk. Be a stoic, quiet freak in space. The eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Nod. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the wrecks, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk, plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Okay, so now we're in the tutorial. Ugh. I underestimated how much reading was gonna make me dizzy. I thought I would be safe. Oh, and an ad's about to start. Perfect timing. I'm already halfway through my water. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. I'll wait to continue it for ads to stop. Oh. I have my coffee here too. It's getting cold. I need to drink that. I want real coffee. There is no real coffee in this house. We only have decaf. I feel like I need actual caffeine. Can't tell what is my music and what's the game. I don't think the game has music, pretty much. I think it's just like sounds. Alright, I think we need to play Slay the Spire 2. Because there was like a update that had like 4 patches in one that I just updated on Steam and was reading about, so I need to play it. I actually don't think I've played Slay the Spire 2 in a while. It's been too long. Been playing other things, I guess. I go through like phases like that with my games. It's really bad. I need to stick to one game for longer than a week. Challenge impossible. Okay, let's see. Ad break is coming to an end, so let's go back into it. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Erlin? I'll probably say it both ways this entire stream. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. I wonder what they do with your body. Like if they put you into a robotic body, what are they doing with your flesh one? Do they have to keep it alive for your brain to work? Curious. You wait curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. Organ harvesting? Yeah, that's like a question, like, can your brain and everything is operating this robot, right? Like that seems to be the case. So do they have to keep your regular body alive in order for your like brain to function? Or are they able to completely separate you and like your body is just fully, they can get rid of it? After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold, so you can still feel cold as well. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Escape, getting answers, or building a life? Oh. Like building a life? Like you got out, and that would be the purpose, right? You wanted out so you could live your life? Maybe you did get lucky finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. That's true. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container: the mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns, burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Okay. So condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Alright, and so action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you've used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. And then energy, you also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate per cycle. This is an awful, awful day. 3 ones. Alright, so we can leave our container. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Okay, not good. Such text. Yay. Lots of text. That's the name of the game, baby. Drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Work? Or sure? Sure. I didn't know it was either. But I was just going to go with it. But I'm glad somebody else pointed out. I thought I was just not knowing something. Is irising actually a verb, or did they or is it just something these writers decided to use? They make their own word. Because I'm imagining like eyes rapidly irising. I'm imagining that's like the like spinning and like zooming in and out thing. Like that's what I'm picturing. I don't know if that's true, if that's what that actually is though. Somebody look it up. I don't have my phone with me, otherwise I would. My phone's charging on my bed. With the cat. The cat is also charging on my bed. Work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. You looked it up? To make iridescent. Since her eyes rapidly irising, so rapidly going iridescent? Now I don't even know what I should be picturing in my head. At the yard at Simple Stuff, we hack these old holes down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Chits? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo. Isolated from the market. It's what we use for trade out here. He stuffs them back in a pocket. All words are made up. Very, very true. All words are made up. So if I want irising to have multiple meanings in my heart, then it does now. Oh, excuse me. That was my niece's biggest struggle was... and I struggled when I was in, like, elementary school and a little bit into middle school. I struggled hard with spelling. My niece still struggles with spelling to this day, but I recognize that my niece is from a generation where the school system did not teach them how to spell because, quote unquote, they're gonna have spell check. I'm like, this is legitimate. Because when I was in elementary school, we did spelling tests where like the teacher would say a word and we had like a numbered sheet, or just like a paper sheet where we wrote the numbers ourselves, and we would have to write the numbers she said, or the words she said, and then she would grade them on our spelling. I had trouble with a lot of words. Funnily enough, I found out when I was older, I was spelling like I was British. I was adding a U to like color in honor, which in American English, they don't have U's, or I was doing like S's instead of Z's in some words. And it wasn't until I was much older that I learned, yes, that is how you spell that word in another country, in another version of the language. To this day, I don't know why. In elementary school, I spelled like that. It's strange. The first time I ever went out of the country was to visit Chibi. And like the thing that made me realize I'm like, hey, I'm not in my own country anymore, is when I was paying for something, for food, when I had gotten off the airplane, and the card reader said authorizing, but it was spelling it with an S and not a Z. And I was like, oh, I'm not in America anymore. And I don't know why that stood out to me so much, but it's like, that was my moment of, I'm in another country. I got so off track. What am I talking about? He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way that they are for me at the yard, he pauses. I need the help. Why? We're happy to. I want to build a life for myself. Should I be curious? Or should I just go with the flow? If I'm curious, he might not like it. I'm gonna ask him why. I think we're still close. Yeah, I'd be happy to, but why? Yes, exactly. I think we're still close enough into the tutorial that he'll be fine with whatever I say. Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you are feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. The stream chat is kind of cropped. Yeah, like I said it earlier too on the Just Chatting stream. It's because it's like pre-bought, like pre-made, and I just slapped it in and I haven't fiddled with it. I might I cry. I guess I need custom stuff, but I'm a cheapo. And I'm like, oh, this is really cheap. I'm gonna buy this. And this is what happens to me. To be fair, I really love this background, and that's the issue. Because the background was only a couple bucks. I just need to get into Stream Elements and see what I can, because it is a customizable, it's a pre-made, somebody's pre-made chat, but there are customizable things with it, so I just need to figure out if I can like squish it and change what shows where. Because there feels like there's a big gap between messages that I could easily shrink down. But I'm lazy. Somebody else do it for me. Okay. So, Drago's yard. Actions are the primary way you interact. Yeah, okay. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice. Actions reward you with clock, progress, energy, condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types: positive, neutral, and negative. Action dice affect the outcomes as follows. Yeah, okay. Higher the dice number, better the chance. Okay, this is a lot of words. I know all this information, but my brain is so dizzy, I'm like, it's too much. Alright, so their actions have a type. They are either critical or repeatable. Critical can only be performed once. Repeatable are things you can do multiple times. Safe, risky, or danger. Safe, obviously, no loss. Negative, you could lose something. Danger is condition loss. Skill that is required, so if you get a +1 to endure, that's good, but if it's something you have a negative in, it's going to bring your results down. Alright, so Dragus is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or 2, things get nasty. So these are like events that are that occur concurrent, like every cycle they advance their clocks. Every salvager knows they're always just one lucky haul away for their next payday. Alright, so we have whole dissection, risky. Or we have manual salvage, which is safe, and we get a +1 too. So this has 50% chance, neutral or negative. See, my dice suck ass for this day. I literally have no good dice. This is horrible. But we're gonna do this because it's a safe, so it's a relatively safe action. Okay, neutral outcome. Okay, now it's telling me about the clocks. Cycle clocks tick themselves once each cycle. Yeah, okay. I'm just rough first day, yeah. Very rough first day. Alright, so this action is complete. Do I have to do both? Is that what it's telling me? I think I'm gonna have to do both. So I'm gonna have to use this because otherwise I'm definitely, this is gonna be, I want to succeed. Alright, we're just gonna do this. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives, so missions. Track, yellow marker and locations that will help pursue the goal. Now free to explore Erlin's Eye and make a life for yourself. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food and keep your energy up. New way to recover condition. Fill clocks. Remember to end cycle when you're out of dice. Alright. Hi, Rose. That's how I feel right now. I'm so dizzy. Me. I am dizzy, so I'm not going to play a really heavy visual game. I'm going to play a game where I have to read a lot and take in information. I'm hydrating. I'm almost out of water. I'm going to have to go get more soon. I've been resting all day. Let's see. Friday I had a headache. I was off from work because of Juneteenth. Had a headache. Wanted to stream. Couldn't stream because of the headache. Took a nap. Saturday I went to work and it sucked and I had a headache. And these headaches, I took things for these headaches and they didn't go away. Yesterday, so nauseous I stay in bed all day. Can't hardly eat. Finally eat at like 7 o'clock and it's like chicken noodle soup. And then I take my sleep med to just knock me the heck out because I was miserable. Woke up at 10 this morning, fed the animals, laid in my bed till 1, fell back asleep, woke up at 4. I finally had a full meal. I went and got a steak dinner for myself because it's my vacation and it's starting off rough and I deserve a nice juicy red steak. And then I sat at my computer and I was like, I want to stream. I want to hang out with my friends, talk to the sinners. But I'm dizzy. But yeah, I rested too much. I've been doing nothing but laying down. I was so desperate for stuff I got into a game about straight men. I'm not into straight men. But now I am. What is this? Being sick is doing things to me. I was supposed to go to the river tomorrow, but I'm not. We're moving that. So now tomorrow I don't have to do anything until at nighttime. And I'm gonna write. I'm meeting up with my friend, but it's for the monthly writing group meetup, and I haven't written in months. So we're gonna write tomorrow. What? Was that my straight man comment? Look, I like games with boobs. I like games that have boobs in them. This game doesn't have boobs, but I like it. Alright, let's find a doctor. How do I go back? How do I go back to the map? Oh, leave. No, not this game, Lint. I've gotten into Love and Deep Space. Men have boobs too, I know, but not the kind, not the boobs I want. I like man boobs too, but I also like mama boobs. Okay, let's see. I deleted a bunch of apps from my phone recently as well, because I haven't touched them in forever. One of which being the Horse Girl game, because I don't know when the last time I touched that game is. Alright, so these are clocks that are going to keep ticking. I'll just go in and see. It's a salvage sortie. It takes several cycles to reach the Starward Belt and return. Okay, so that's like stuff I can buy. Helion Crossing, merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Helion system. Always return eventually. Rotunda. Okay, guys, steal dock plans. Explore. Oh, we need to explore. I have a -1 to that, though. Haven Age run the Rotunda and their security watches the docks. Better to avoid attracting their attention. Okay, so the risky, I'm assuming, means I might get their attention. Getting to know the Rotunda doesn't just mean new places to visit. It means keeping your eye on new arrivals, too. Okay, so I could try to steal. I could use my 5. Which means I wouldn't get, like, too bad a result. See, this one could oh, because it's -1. That's rough. That's rough, buddy. But I know if I explore that, I'll get food. This is the market. I'll get food here too, actually. And this, I need this because I need to find the doctor to survive. You can ask for directions or explore. I'm gonna explore and use, I'm just gonna have to use my 5 here and explore. I mean, the other option is to use the 5 here and it's 50%. Alright, we're just gonna use the 5 here. Plus local knowledge. You end up at a drink stall debating the finer points of the Solheim collapse. Try to remember all the tips your companions offer you. So my local knowledge went up. So I think that means I discover something. Yes. Okay. I got the doctor, Sabine. Blades in the dark? I'm not familiar with that one. Next comes a call from the enforcer at the door. There's controlled, risky, desperate position. Gotcha, okay. Yeah, there's like, you can have a positive, a neutral, or a dangerous outcome, and then there are like risky, more risky things you can do. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. Your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, this body, your body, will... You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Look inside, look at the enforcer. Oh, and there are clocks that fill up? It sounds almost exactly the same then. Blades in the dark. I'll have to remember to look that up. I haven't heard of it. You lean against the doorframe and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light filtering through a far doorway screened with plastic sheeting, beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. Wait your turn, he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside. passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the Bright Market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and, for a moment, you are transfixed by the motion. "Come, sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink, and then quickly regain their composure. "Please sit." They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. "Remain still, please." Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. "How long have you been on the station?" they ask, the scanner still to their eye. "A few cycles?" or don't answer. "This is a doctor. I'm going to the doctor for help. Not answering would be dumb." They nod. "It's good you came to me." They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body is dying." They say it without ceremony, without drama, not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. Look up. Sound familiar? Yeah? No? How do you know this? Yes. Good. That may help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. "I'm sorry," Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. "I know little of this is of use to you." They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. "I may be able to help." They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear their fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. "You saw Tashir outside?" You nod. "He works for my benefactor, Yadigan. They are influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds." They look away. "But Yadigan has connections. Smugglers from the Star Ward Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance." Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive. But I think we can do it." Ooh, okay, just a second. Second to get my brain back in my head. Why help me? Thank you. Great question. My music has stopped. Okay, there it's back. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. "Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead." You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face. But the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Alright, so we have one thing left. We have to wait for her to get the stabilizer. There's Emphis, street food vendor. Memphis is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red fleck dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chips rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, back suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Memphis speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. Thank him. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks, the earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Memphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. Begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container, and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems, you tell him, like some dream that you once had but could never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually, you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus on your hand. Next time we can talk some more, he smiles, but next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pinmarks. You walk away, and as you do take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus, your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Alright, cool, so we ate. New drive discovered. Get to know Memphis. Build a ship mind. You've heard talk of a fabricator owned by the Ort Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mind core. Alright, we still have one dice left, so let's go. I think we'll work. What's here? This is the shipyard. Alright, so you could just work at the shipyard to get to know more. I think we're gonna go work for Dragos? I've already forgotten his name. Dragos. Yeah, let's go. Because this would just be, yeah, it's going to be the same either way. But this one won't have too bad of a... Okay, I got some cryo from that, but I didn't up this. So... with this, I'm like, do I need to up this to be able to up to, like, for him to pay stuff off? That's what I'm gathering. Oh, I do think I could do something with photosynthesis. Oh. Okay. Get energy. Alright, we'll just end cycle. I can always use the dice to get energy if I'm starving. Aha, here we go. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting, skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth, black liquid. Observe it, touch it. Touch it. You find a point in the station and you connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers, and then you try, in a moment of impulsiveness, to connect them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you, insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there, the station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. Woot. Okay, so I'm fading. I really need those meds because now I only have 3 dice. Oh, ad start. Well, this is a good time to go get more water. I'm gonna go get more water. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back, and I unmuted. Unmuted like a good streamer. Alright, so I'm not gonna worry about sunbathing. Alright, so we need to go. So I'm guessing, okay, so it seems like I only can get this to go up once from this action. I have to do the risky action if I want it to go up. Alright, so plus back in business, plus 10. Cairo. Let's see. Or exchange. Oh, so this is how I get the The ore exchange is always hungry for new hardware to buy up. Okay, so if I get scrap, I can sell it here. Flow of chits and components in the exchange is complex, but a sharp eye and some tight trades can net you a good margin. Basically gambling, right? Alright, maybe not gamble yet. We haven't explored the Rotunda. Let's explore the Rotunda. Okay. We got a little bit more information. Yes, we got the bar. I think I can work at the bar, actually. Once I become a regular. So get a drink. If you're unsure if your frame can metabolize alcohol, this fungal drink fermented along the greenway seems like a good test. Tala keeps some expired Solheim rations behind the bar for spacers who ask why the Overlook doesn't serve food. Alright, let's get a drink. Doesn't take a dice, and it'll give you some energy. Plus to the becoming a regular. And then shipyard. This one says danger. I'm a little worried about that. Alright, we'll try it. Oof. Okay, that was not good. Brought down my condition. And that is that cycle. Great. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights, like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse. But you begin to try. Focus on the threads or on the nodes? The nodes would maybe be more of the information? The nodes are glassy, bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid, or a triangle, dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. But before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. Threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes. One leads to another. There is so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. The first or the second? I don't remember which is which, what goes where. The first thread leads out, away from the station, into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. Right, okay. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange, angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. You open your eyes. Time is short. Okay, so now I know I'm being hunted. Cloud. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the Eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the I button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. That's a lot of words. Haven Age Agent. Keynode. Solheim Gate. Keynode. Haven Age Agent. Keynode. Yadigan Agent. Solheim Gate. This gate conceals a network of systems which have been untouched since the Solheim collapse. Oh, I need a cipher. Alone connection. Oh, whoa. Data actions. Extract data from the networks. They work like dice, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right. If you have a +1 or +2 in the interface skill, you'll be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice that matches the dice displayed. Right. Okay. I don't have a 1, unfortunately. So can't do that. I do have a 2. So I got Haven Age data. So it's like a currency, I'm pretty sure, and I can use that. On something else, but alright. Used up one of my 3 dice. Alright, still nothing from the doctor. I need to eat. Let's go to Emphas. 15. But it fills me up, so that's great. And we didn't do anything with Dragos, did we? Get a plus. There's some high dice. Do this one. Alright, let's do this. Nice, okay. Got some cryo from that. And then I could just work. I have a 100% chance of succeeding, so. +10. Alright. I think I'm only gonna have 2 dice for the next day, which sucks. Is there anything I can use my Haven data in, though? Gosh, yes, Haven Age Gate. I just need 1. Hello? Oh, it's data, not a cipher. Okay. How do I get a cipher? This needed a Solheim cipher, so that's not gonna help. Okay. I don't think I can use it yet. It's bedtime. Okay, I still have 3. Thank goodness. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up. Walk away or turn? Turn. Fang! Fang is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was it old Erland said? The eye opens for us all. Nice idea, but well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. We? You pass together into the main walkway. Haven Age. We are all one dysfunctional family. Fang puts an arm around you. I'm not part of the security branch, though. Don't worry. I'm with systems. Excuse me. Think of us as an administrative association for the eye. Depending on who you talk to, we either emerged as a response to, or a continuation of, Andre Erlin's original union. He smiles. Personally, I avoid the topic. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I've been seeing some unusual network activity and, well, I know a little about you sleepers. I have a small proposition for you. He glances around. But this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare, then, when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Can't remember what that storyline is. I know I've done it, but I don't remember it fully. Alright, I haven't done anything in the shipyard. Ah, Sabine is ready for me. Oh, I don't think I have money for this. The first thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like a cat's eyes in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with the case open in front of them, a set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how yet again they trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I don't care. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but we need to be careful. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains, which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Which means the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. Thanks, Picklebots. They glance away, at least if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. I will start with a small dose to limit the risk. I don't have a choice. I think you're right. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe, and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection, but with little response. A sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? What happened? Stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yadigan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you are going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room, and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you have been out. Sabine? Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Alright, we stable. Don't have to worry about that no more. Well, for a little bit anyways. We'll get 5 dice tomorrow, which is great. Alright. Low end gate. Alright, I could pay 60 creds to get through here, but I'm not going to. Not yet, anyways. I have no reason to. Do need to eat. Alright, let's help Drago out. Alright. That's my good deed for the day. Alright, let's get some food. And then I still haven't explored this fully. So I feel like a 5 would be a good one to do here. Wait. Yeah, we got that and the sealed dock. Which I need. What is that? An encrypted key? Okay. I think the Overlook Bar is somewhere I can start working if I become a regular, so let's take a drink. Just so I can get money coming in. Ankita. Hey you, want to earn a chit? Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied together whole plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Sure. Make it 2. Ankita laughs. This goddamn station, she sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. Alright, come here then. You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into 2 bundles. What is it with this place, she asks, as she angrily lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Or is it just that you all think I'm an easy mark? We all need to survive. Ankita softens. I get it. I do. She shakes her head. But if I could go just one cycle without some jumped up grifter trying to take me for an idiot, then that would be nice. Ankita hoists one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You've got to earn those chits. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Ankita gives you a look. Ship's this way. And she sets off down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores? Stevedore? I don't know. This word is unfamiliar to me. Why are you doing this yourself? What's all this for? Oh, this? She nods at the plates on her back. I'm building a treehouse. She gives you another of her looks. It's for the ambergris, that clutter you might have seen sitting silent out there. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on our last job and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from her ship mind, so now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. Upshot is that I'm short 1 ship mind, with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd been stranded. So yeah, it's been a time. Sorry to hear it. Anything I can do to help? I don't know, got a ship mind tucked away on that frame of yours? For a moment, you aren't sure if she is serious. Ankita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles of plates through the ambergris outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Ankita throws you a couple of chits. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. Alright, get out of here. She calls back and the lock slams shut. You drive. Fix the ambergris. Okay, so heard talk of a fabricator owned by the Ort Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mind core. So she needs a ship mind core. I could try to work on making that. need that. The Ort Exchange. That uses chits, doesn't it? Alright, so I need to become a trusted trader. That's what I'm getting. Oh yeah, I need a higher than that to risk that. So let's go to shipyard. Because I could get scrap from here, I think. Okay. Well, didn't get much, but is what it is. At least I'm stable and get 5 dice. That's 5 actions I can potentially do. Hell yeah, that's some great rolls. What the hell? Fang. Oh, right. Okay. Sleeper. Fang catches your attention as you approach the Haven Age building, leaning against a bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way. Security, all that. He gives you a look. You know. Just roll high. Tonight's the night. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Fang inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates, and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There is a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Fang leans on a server stack and gestures around. You like it? What is all this? Taps a nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a towering block, speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, the one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they are seeing a concrete reality. But this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. You're keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least, that's what I'm trying to do. Turns back to face you among the flickering machines, humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? How does he know? Yeah, I can see it. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Fang notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you're on the run, though. They're tracking me. Pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place, subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay, secrets, a shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place, break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Haven Age, there is old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those old bad guys, or into those bad old days. Where did I get bad guys from? You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I'm in. Fang pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Fang passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. Slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper, and I'll see you soon. You step, blinking, back out into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. Okay. Okay. So I can sell data. But he wants Solheim data, not... Okay, he doesn't want Haven Age. Well, because he is Haven Age. He doesn't need that. But he gave me a cipher to this. Okay, so now there's information. I need... Nope, can't do that. Don't have that one. I don't have a 3. I have a 1. I got noticed. I heard it. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread, strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. Resist. You struggle against the thread and it tightens in response, a glittering garrote. Please hold. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? What did you do? What are you? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identify, origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. Sleeper, SNR. Unknown, known. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature, of and not of, attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head, thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Stop. The figure halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm a person. Incorrect. You are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste. The one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Strike. You lash out with all your force, not a physical strike, but a focusing, a spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. So yeah, that's the Eldritch computer system. The AI watchdog, making sure there's nothing illegal going on. But I got data I can sell. Cool. 15 from that. I definitely need to eat. Scrap freighter is here. I can unload containers. I can buy scrap. It's a dangerous task, but I get +1 to it, so let's go ahead and put the 5 here. Because 100% success. Nice. I got energy. I got energy from that. And scrap. So Then we go to the ore exchange. Oh, I thought I got scrap. I did not. I just got paid. Okay. You can play the exchange. Nice. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Then we need to eat. Do this. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm a regular. So now I get to... Yeah. The glass shatters on the steel bar beside you, and the taunts don't take long to follow. Hey, Haunt, the spacer calls across the low room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own lame joke. Playing human? Shout back, leave, ignore. You hunch a little further, staring at the hundreds of tiny impact points that scar the bar's surface. A hand falls on your shoulder, but as you flinch away, it pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Out! The voice comes from behind you, spat out like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, dark hair, a stare that could breach the wall and vent you all into hard vacuum. As you turn back to the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. Catch or duck? Can I catch it? You reach up a hand and the glass shatters across your forearm, showering you in fragments. Okay, no, could not catch it. Through the haze of glass and Girl vapor, you see Tala leap the bar and close the distance to the spacer. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. Now, flanked by other figures, quick to their feet, Tala throws the spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back onto your stool. Broken glass rattles as it is cleared, and a fresh measure of Girl is glugged out in front of you. That same hand, warm, heavy, falls on your shoulder once more. He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here. Tala flops onto the stool beside you. Let's get a look at you. Tala wipes the powdered glass from around the wound, and someone places a bottle of alcohol and a metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and then turns to you. That was an ambitious catch, she smiles, pulling a sliver of glass from your forearm. Stupid, but ambitious. You don't feel the pain, only the string of status messages your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. You do feel the care, though, as Tala's bright eyes search your thick, synthetic skin for splinters. Watch her. Tala works with the skill of someone who has had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard, all the time tapping the tweezer tips in little rhythms that only she can follow. Tala smiles to herself. So, you've been on the eye long? Just arrived, pretty much. Thought so. I've only seen you here a couple times. Splinter clinks into the tin. Not everyone is like that, idiot. We don't all hate you. She glances around. Some of the regulars, maybe they fear you. Maybe they're just curious. I don't know. But I knew, though, that the Overlook is a safe place. I know what it's like to be new in this place. Trust me. She meets your eye. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, or separate you from your chits. I just want you to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rations we've got aren't much, and the company is, she leans in, limited. But if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar, and if you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up in the Greenway this cycle, haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. That's you, Sleeper. Here. She slides the glass of Girl to you. This'll help. She stops, her hand still in the glass. Wait, does this help? I mean, can you get drunk? Let's find out. She laughs. Just don't stay here too long. Hate to see you become a real regular. She walks back around the bar, gathering the glasses as she does, and before long is retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She gestures in your direction and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the Girl, the earthly fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection to something grown, something fermented, something old, feels good. Spacer was also a term in Asimov's books. What did he write? I'm not familiar. I'm uneducated. Alright, so I think I can work at the Overlook now. Yeah, I could do a shift. Robot series and Foundation series. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what spacer means here. I'm just assuming maybe like somebody who it almost sounds like a laborer type role, maybe. Like somebody who works out in space. I don't know. On ships or something. Oh, iRobot. Okay. I have not read the book. I watched the movie when I was a kid because we had it on DVD for some reason. I'm trying to remember this. I was like really young though, so I can't recall. But I just remember I think it freaked me out. I like Will Smith, but I think the robots freaked me out. I made a on my Tomodachi Island. I do have a book that's called Eyes Robot, and it just has, because there's like stamps in the creator, and so it has the stamp of a robot and the stamp of eyes on it. It's just a book I gave my Mies. Alright, so I can work, make money. And it's risky, but I can get a good, let's see. Oh, the movie was original material, just borrowed the name. Oh, okay. Ads. It is ads. Alright, let's just do something then that's like... I don't really need a +1 to that. Let's do this one. And is there something I can do for the ambergris? Yes. Locked. Skill upgrade required. Oh, do I have a skill upgrade yet? I don't think so, because I think it would have brought me to tutorial if I did. Okay. Maybe I should put... Do you like the books? Maybe I should put them on my read list. Along with the 500 other books I still need to read. But whatever. Alright, so it is 100 for... a stabilizer. I don't need it right now anyways, so that's fine. I've used up all of my dice though, so it is time for bed. Read the entire... So it is a series. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I'll have to read it then. I need to finish The Lost World. I was reading that literally... Okay, this is really bad. The last time I've read a book was when I had hand surgery. And I read all of Jurassic Park, but I never finished The Lost World before I went back to work, and then I haven't finished it since, and it's been like 2 years since I had hand surgery. So I read too much fan fiction. I need to read actual books again. A lot of detective stuff. Interesting. I like that. That sounds cool. Excuse me. Oh, hand cycle. Like a sci-fi detective story sounds way up my way up my alley. Why did I say ally? Alright, this is kind of not as good a roll as yesterday. Kind of sucks a little. Excuse me. Alright, so we need to get more of this data. I think one of them was 4. Because he can end the tracker on us. Which will make it harder for the hunter. Not this hunter, the other hunter. Right, this hunter will get notified the more I do shit. Alright. Let's go sell that. Nope, that's not it. There he is. As you enter the bay, Fang is nowhere to be seen. The banks of servers and machines blink out of the dark in staccato rhythms, unseeing eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Shitheads, Fang's voice echoes from behind a stack, followed by the hammer of a fist on a metal casing. These sneaky shitheads. Who's sneaky? Sleeper, Fang's smiling head pops out from behind a stack. Just the emulated consciousness I have been eager to see. Come back here. You pick your way between the swarming stacks, trying not to trip on the loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Fang is sat in front of a set of monitors mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Fang waves at a monitor to his side, glowing with pale lists of information. You lean in closer, looking for the links in the data. The tables seem to be filled with personal information, names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. iRobot, is the movie added to your list? Like the server movies to watch? Or are you gonna read the books too, Rose? Okay, yeah. You know, like I said, I saw it when I was so young that I don't remember anything other than that Will Smith was in it and what the robots look like. So I'd be interested in seeing it again. I say, as if I show up to your watch nights. My bad. Names. Okay, yes, but what kind of names? I don't know, are they Solheim names? You tell me, Fang. I don't fucking know. Bingo, he taps at the terminal. I pulled these from the old data you brought in. All employees of the Eye's original owners. And he leans past you and scrolls the list down. This one. This is a snaky shithead. He stabs at the screen with a finger. The name reads Hardin Hurst. Friend of yours? Fang gives you a sideways look. Funny you should say that, Sleeper. Drags a stool out beside him and motions for you to sit. There just so happens to be a Hardin Hurst in Haven Age. A fan of the source work. I wonder if it's like I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan. The movies. I've read the books now, so I will say I enjoy them. I didn't know they were based off books until I was in my 20s as an adult. But I own like the first 3 Jurassic Park movies, watched them tons of times. I have seen, actually my raid sound, like if somebody raids me, my raid sound is from the first movie. It's like the don't move. Anyways, the book is good. The book and the movie are very different, but it is not such a difference that makes me be like, oh, the movie sucks because it's so different from the book. It's like I can recognize why Hollywood changed the things they did for the movie, and I don't think the book itself would have been successful as a movie had they kept it completely to the source material. Or at least not in the way they wanted it, because they wanted it more family friendly. The book is a little more horror-esque, I guess. Either way, I love them both for their different things. I do find it very funny how much they changed Hammond from the book to the movies. I do find that really entertaining. And I will say I prefer the book dinosaurs, because the book dinosaurs are a lot more monsterish, and like they go out of their way. I feel like Crichton writes it in a way that you recognize these aren't dinosaurs. They are these like Frankenstein amalgamations of dinosaurs, where when you watch the movies, because you're visually seeing them, I don't think that comes across as well. I also find it very interesting how the modern day movies, the Jurassic World movies, pull things from the books that weren't in the original movies. I think I haven't seen the most recent one, but I remember watching the trailers, and like a lot of the trailers have exact pulls from the first book that weren't in the first movie. Like the raft scene. Because they didn't go on a raft at all in the first movie, but they were on a raft for a good chunk of the book. But anyways, I also just watched this weekend. I watched it's narrated by Morgan Freeman. I think it's literally just called The Dinosaurs. And it's like a nature documentary about dinosaurs, almost. Like the way it's done and narrated, it's like watching like Planet Earth, but it's about dinosaurs. And I found it interesting. I enjoyed it. I like dinosaurs. They did show some hadrosaurs, which are my favorites, so I don't have a specific favorite hadrosaur, but that hadrosaur as a, what is it, class? Family of dinosaur? There's a bunch of different Hadrosauridae. Hadrosauridae is like a thing. And then the same people made one that's I think it was called Life on Our Planet, that is basically just showing the evolution of life from the beginning all the way on, which I was watching, but then I should have known. It's about everything from plants, bugs, everything. So of course they bring up arthropods, and of course that means they bring up spiders. So I did have to, at one point, have a freak out because suddenly there was a spider on the screen, and I had to fast forward it, and it was a big chunk of that episode with spiders. It was not a good time for me. I think I ended up turning it off. And now I'm back at home. I'm not dog sitting anymore, so I have no more access to Netflix. So if I want to watch it again, I'll have to find it somewhere. Why am I so scared of spiders? I do not know. It is not just a fear, it is literal phobia. Like, it is something in my brain, in my body, that is not, it's not just a, like, I can say I'm scared of tornadoes, I'm scared of clowns, I'm scared of the dentist. Like, that's a fear. What I have for spiders goes beyond that. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I have always been that way ever since I was a kid. It could be the tiniest little speck of a thing. So I had a coworker who did exposure therapy for arachnophobia. She was telling me about it. I almost puked. I cannot. No. I could not. If a spider touches me, I am going to die. I am going to die. Simply put, I'm going to die. I don't... No, I wouldn't. I'm sorry. It's all arachnids. I can't look at scorpions. I get the same issue with scorpions. I definitely think, obviously I don't come across scorpions in my day-to-day life. And I do have an aversion to most crawly things. So we have an earwig problem right now, and I get very upset because they get everywhere. Like, they're in my pajama. One was in my pajama pants last night. Like, it was not good. Okay, I'll say this. I recognize the importance of spiders in the ecosystem. I recognize that they are important. However, I want them all to die and burn and not be anywhere near me. If they are near me, I can't do it, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. But yeah, earwigs really, really bad in our area. Can't do it. Yeah, I get it. Spiders will keep other bugs away. I understand they're important. Like, my sister has a garden, and I help water that garden when I dog sit. I say garden. She's basically on her way to having a farm. I help with the watering. There are spiders everywhere in her plants. And it's like, I get it. They need to be there because they help keep other things from the plants. I don't like looking at them. I'm not going to bother them. I'm not going to get rid of them because I know they're doing their job. But it is the worst for me. I don't like centipedes. Too many legs! Too many legs. Like, maybe it's just arthropods in general just can go away. I think that includes beetles, though. I don't have too much of an issue with beetles. I don't like ladybugs, though. Ladybugs freak me out. I don't like butterflies. Butterflies freak me out. But that's because I've watched them when I was younger eat each other. Okay, so my dad, when he lived out in the mountains, at the base of his dirt driveway, there would always get puddles of water. The swallowtails, for some reason, I don't know if this was like an identified area breeding ground for them, they showed up all like in swaths and would always go to the base of his driveway, all these swallowtails. They would suffocate each other because there were so many, and then they would eat the dead ones. I would watch them do this because I was like, oh, I love swallowtails. I want to go look at them. So I like butterflies, but they freak me out. Is where I'm at with them. Monarchs have always been my favorite butterfly. Beetles, the most diverse bug. Yeah, beetles are pretty cool. Beetles were the first pollinators. Before we got bees, we had them beetles. Them big, giant beetles. How did we get on this? Are we playing a game? Beetles. Yeah, I thought so I was watching that documentary. I thought the spider part of the documentary was over because they were talking about beetles, and then they brought up the worst spider of them all, in my opinion, which is the trapdoor spider, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. So I fast forwarded, missed a whole bunch of stuff because my sister's remote and TV are not very responsive with each other, so it kept fast forwarding even after I was trying to hit play. A cool bug fact, I've got tons of weird ass facts because I love animals and I love watching documentaries. Alright, back to this. That's it, he's right here on the station now. Feng leans back in his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on this station as a... Feng leans across to look at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Feng raises his eyebrows at you. Our Hardin was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out to were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept the profit. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of Palladium rush workers into an infrastructure which meant that their cut of the work they did went straight back into Solheim. How do you know this? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I am a child of the collapse. Feng turns back to his screen, staring hard at the strings of code flickering by. You've never heard of trapdoor spiders? You're a lucky son of a gun. That gif of Kana eating the crab? That but mellow. I just looked them up. What's so scary about them? Have you looked up what they do? Okay. Have you looked up what they do? I'm just like, this conversation you guys don't know, my hair is standing on end and I've got I'm like shuddering. Okay, be me. Be on Facebook in my teens and early 20s. My family would always find it funny to tag me in Facebook in like stupid posts with spiders. Like things where like it's a post that looks normal and then suddenly a spider's running across your screen. My mother at one point sent me a video of a trapdoor spider on Facebook. I happened to be at the table with her at this time. I'm looking at the video. The trapdoor spider comes out. I throw my phone across the room, scream, jump up, cuss her out, like have a full-on panic attack. And that was the moment my mom realized that, okay, she is like, this is not just a dislike of spiders. And I'm just like, how did it take you until I was in my early 20s for you to realize this was not a normal fear and that this was a drastic issue for me? And it was like instantaneous. The second the spider was there, it was like gone. I was gone. And I can't do it. Can't do it. Look, if you like spiders, great. Great for you. I couldn't read that. What was that Circus Freak series? Oh, it was like a middle school age book series. I think it was like, there was a focus on spiders in it. It got popular when I was in middle school and I couldn't read it because I started to and it got to that point and I was like, oh, this isn't for me. I feel like it was Cirque. Cirque was in the title. I don't know. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked on Solheim ships, they breathed Solheim air, and slept in Solheim beds. Cirque du Spider? It basically should have been, I think, was like, the obsession with the spider was too much. I got to the point where I was like, I can't even read this. I can't relate to this protagonist at all. He's obsessed with the spider. Feng's voice rises as he speaks, his hands fists on the terminal edge. In the work that paid for that existence, the cycles of heart extraction out in the belt, Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak, and my parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy, stabbing at Hardin once again with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going, still here, crawling in the walls like some shithead snake. He survived the revolution. But how? These guys, they were big time. There's a lot money can get you if you are a company man. Feng relaxes a little. But how is Hardin still kicking? I really don't know. Turns to you and smiles. So we are gonna go find out. Hardin is now a big shot in the shipyards, just a few degrees back around the eye from here. Feng brings up a map of the lower eye. Haven Age might be born out of Erlin's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy it is not. Hardin happened to float to the top. Feng zooms in on the far yards. Feng grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid and they don't like anyone from systems digging around in their stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. Stretch, okay. Oh, big stretch. Stretch and hydrate. Okay. It is gonna bother me that I don't know the name. My music stopped again. I'm gonna look it up. Oh, I literally think it's called the Cirque du Freak. Yeah, it's the Cirque du Freak series. That was it. Yeah. It was pretty big when I was in middle school. Gotta lurk now, might end before I go to sleep, but if not, I'll be back. Okay. Bye-bye. Excuse me. Fang holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. Turns the drive between his fingers. It'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set on the scent of Hardin Hurst. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky, but you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. Fang grins. If you can extract yourself a Haven Age cipher from a Haven Age agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches. You can crack open the compound's network and slot the worm in through any open port. You never even need to go near the shipyards. So what do you say? Up for it? What's in it for me? Rooting out a corrupt snake not enough? Find the information, I'll start work on that tracker of yours. Anything the worm gets, it'll send it back here to me. There's something wrong here, and I aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Fang digging through data among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the Eye as it once was, a vast machine running smooth and strong, directed by people like Hardin. A vast Solheim-built machine into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems, looking for a new life. The hope of a better future, engineered to line someone else's pockets. It's an idea you are intimately familiar with. Think of Hardin, still alive, still part of this place, and wonder if the past is ever truly past. Alright. So, getting that seems fairly important to get rid of my tracker. Honestly. So... let's go. I need a Haven Age cipher. Okay, get that. That's data. Oh, I have a Haven Age cipher. Wait. Alright, so what? Yeah, okay. Hunter, I'm gonna end up getting the Hunter on my ass if I keep doing this. Alright, an open port. Or I need a ripper. I need to put the ripper worm here. Alright, so is that gonna be on a clock? Yes, it looks like. Okay, so I have 3 cycles. This is gonna get me literally straight until he gets here. Alright, let's help him out. We just need one more. To do a safe. Damn, didn't give me... Alright, hull dissection. Alright, sweet. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast, dark shape, suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it lowered into the yard. What is it? That, my friend, is A-grade scrap. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? That's you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern, he shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm going to need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion. Locked inside that container, the wreck of the Essen Art freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered? Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into the strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about this ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we are up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side. Winter Light. Claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting, and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Urgent point. Ooh. Character and upgrades. You've completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point. Okay. So I completed repaying Dragos. Gotcha. Alright, so yes, we can upgrade. Hard to kill. Keep 2 dice even when condition is breaking. That's nice. Predictive reasoning. I could get rid of this -1. Or I could +2 this. Or I could add a +1 to something else. Random scrap on engineer. That is... Honestly, I think I want that one. Oh. Okay. Alright, we end cycle. Ooh, I need to eat. Okay, so that is great. Rolls, great. So we can build a ship bind. Disable my tracker. I have to wait. Extract. Hack the shipyard and slot the ripper arm. I did that. Repair the ambergris. Get to know Emphas. Study. This one is just surviving. Study the winter light. Alright, let's focus on... Alright, so we can help this. Alright, so we upped that by 1. Is there... We haven't really done much in the shipyard. Oh... Do this. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I like that. Do a bar shift, which gets good service. And I think she'll eventually... I think it's good to have Tala in our pocket. This one... Alright, let's do the ore exchange. Oof. I forgot that's the negative one. Ah, phew. That worked out. Alright, we just have a 2 left. We need to eat. Eat. Eat so we can keep up the 5. Alright, what was the sealed dock? Okay, I need some sort of data thing. Also go here. Agent. Oh, I have a 2. That's perfect. Oh, I got a key. I needed that for this. I need another one. Oh, this I think is where... Okay, that's the storyline I like. I think it's in there. I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Alright, that's it. Bedtime. That's not a bad roll either. One more for him. Alright, they're gone. Let's see. Work on the ambergris. That's a 4. Could end badly. But it didn't. And I got a scrap item. Because of my new perk. So I can sell that here. Nice. Alright, I'm not gonna do this. Yeah. Work a shift, make some chits. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And then help Dragos. Because it gives me information. Fuck. Alright, and one more. Where should I use my last die? I can just use it at home and get energy. Oh, I could have a negative I thought it was a safe outcome. Alright, we'll see what happens. Yeah, okay. Cool. Not bad, not bad. Alright, Fang, what you got? As you arrive, Fang comes striding towards you, taking you by surprise. Let's go, sleeper. Go where? To see Hardin Hurst. He gives you a sideways glance. Isn't that what you were here for? He steps into the passageway, guiding you down Ring, towards the shipyard. Sorry for the hurry, but we have something of an opportunity. That data you ripped, well done by the way, he grins, tells me Hardin is making a rare inspection of the sidereal horizon this cycle. It's the perfect chance to confront him outside of that compound he hides in. Fang takes a sharp turn into a dimly lit side passage. Confront him? That's right, it's the perfect time. Fang slows and slips into a dark service tunnel where, somewhere in the black, a water pipe drips. It's him, Sleeper, the same Hardin Hurst. Our worm ripped out decades of records that mention him by name, an entire trail of documentation from the first days of the Solheim collapse until now. He wrote out the whole thing, slipped into Haven Age when it first broke off from the Union. He paces in the tunnel, a hand rubbing at the back of his head. I need you to understand something about Solheim, Sleeper. I don't know what you know about the collapse, but it wasn't as instant as it sounds. It wasn't like Solheim was here running the station one day and the next Erland's Union took power. Back then, Solheim knew this place was slipping away from them. As the palladium market collapsed, they tried to keep the contractors here working. The pay got smaller, the costs higher. People like my parents were forced to work non-stop just to keep a berth on the station and water in their tanks. Solheim squeezed every last worker until the mistakes, the accidents, were coming in non-stop. And as new waves of contractors came in, desperate to work, Solheim welcomed them, taking bribes instead of checking pilot licenses. The whole time, Solheim was folding up, dragged into court cases in the central systems, while this severed limb of a station still desperately tried to take all it could. The riots came after the collision at Dock 2. A young pilot, his MEV overloaded with palladium, miscalculated his trajectory and took out a section of the ring. Hundreds died, thousands panicked. My parents told me people were terrified, and the blame fell squarely on Solheim. People like to tell stories about Erland, how he brought the factions together, spoke to the crowds, turfed out Solheim. Maybe that's true. But my mother, pregnant with me, locked herself in their MEV and welded it to the dock, while my father joined the improvised crews trying to seal up the ragged edges of the gap. He never came back. Fang pauses in the dark. They sealed it up though, and by the time they did, Solheim was gone, abandoning every one of us to the black. Apart, Fang finally turns back to you now, his eyes burning, from shits like Hardin. Shits who held their place, wrote it out, and slipped into the new structure like nothing had changed, standing shoulder to shoulder with those they had exploited at every step. Fang starts walking again. That's why I can't just let them strut about the shipyard. This time, his past catches up with them. How is he still alive? We should think about this. Yeah, you should think about this. Feel free, but I'm going now. Seems you have some revenge, I guess, because you lost your father. But why would he stay on the station? Like, if Solheim pulled out, it would make more sense for him to go with them. Fang rejoins the main passageway, which is now wide and glass-roofed. Through the ceiling, you can see ships in mid-construction, their flanks lit by the flashes of plasma torches. The entrance to the shipyard is ahead. Oh, this is crazy. Let's go. A little crazy. Fang turns to look at you. Don't come then. I won't force you. What is it then, Sleeper? You coming or not? Coming. I want to see how this turns out. Let's go show this shithead some consequences. He strides to the shipyard entrance and pushes through the doors. A web of corridors lead through the complex, snatches of the construction bays always appearing through windows. Ships are suspended like whale corpses, skeletal, imposing. Fang seems to know exactly where he is going, and before long you cross into a huge dry dock locked to one side of the sidereal horizon. A network of platforms and scaffolding cling to the ship's hull, filled with workers and equipment. The sound is stretched out by the vast space so that the welding, cutting, and sealing seems to come from everywhere at once. Both you and Fang spot them at the same time, a group walking slowly across a gantry, and at the front, two men, one gesturing towards the ship and the other, stick-thin, cleanly dressed, with a shock of gray hair. Hardin. You and Fang say his name in unison, and Fang sets off up the staircase to the gantry, with you following behind. As you come to the same level, the group is passing closer, the foreman gesturing to the work being done throughout the dock, and Hardin nodding along. Arden Hurst, Feng shouts across the noise, taking you by surprise. His voice bounces and comes back in a rippling echo. The figures turn. Yes? Hardin asks quizzically, raising an eyebrow. He glances between you and Feng, and you see his gaze linger on your body, unsure of why a sleeper might be in this place. You are a traitor, Hardin, a Solheim executive who tried to hide here among its victims. Feng's voice is steady, strong. You stand for everything the Eye was rebuilt in the shadow of, against everything Erland stood for, everything Haven Age stands for. You have no place on this station. For a moment, stillness descends on the group as if everyone was held in place by the rattle of construction. Hardin laughs. Well, good to meet you too. He glances around at those around him. Some are smiling, the others nervous. You're from the systems branch, are you not? Asks Hardin, inspecting Feng's clothing. Feng turns to the foreman. You need to call your security. This man is a corporate agent. The foreman glances between Feng and Hardin, his hands drumming at his sides. Hardin leans towards him and says something inaudible. The foreman nods. I was gonna stay silent. Feng holds up a stick of memory. You guessed right. I am systems, and I have records that link you directly to Solheim right here. Why would you tell him? You don't reveal your hand, dude. You're a dumb kid. He turns to the foreman again. So once again, I'm asking you to take this man into the custody of the shipyard. The foreman remains still. Hardin's voice is calm, measured. If you have such data, why hasn't it been submitted at a member's meeting for proper review? He shakes his head. I have nothing to hide, unlike a man who does not announce his name, who enters my shipyard with corporate property in tow and tries to turn my own men against me. You hear it now, the echoing sound of boots on walkways, coming from all angles at once, and then settling behind you. Please, says Hardin, submit the data through the correct channels, then we can talk. For now, however, you must leave. He gestures behind you to the security detail, their hands on boxy black sidearms at their sides. Feng spits. Hardin, you shithead, you can't wriggle out of this one. Security officer draws their weapon and levels it. Feng turns and stares him down. Calm down, dude. Don't die. You look at Feng, he shakes his head and puts a hand on your shoulder. Let's go, says Feng, and he pushes through security, heading back down the walkway. Once security has walked you out of the shipyard and nudged you back into the corridor, Feng picks up pace. You try to keep up as he slips into the shadows of an entrance. Feng is grinning ear to ear. You know, Sleeper, sometimes people are exactly how you expect them to be. Something pings in his pocket and he takes it out. On the slate, a web of connections starts drawing itself out, stretched to a set of points around the ring. Got him, mutters Feng. What is that? That, Sleeper, is something our worm added to Hardin's personal slate. We are tracking his outgoing messages. Feng's grin looks ghostly in the uplight of his screen. The old ways are best. Spook them good enough and they'll give the game away. He jabs at the slate and you see the web is being drawn over a map of the ring. Lines bouncing from point to point. All these dots, these are Hardin's buddies. The ones he is messaging right now. We're gonna find them all. That was on purpose? Of course, Hardin isn't working alone. We need the full set or nothing. Feng glances around and slips a slate back into his pocket. We better split for now, Sleeper. This is exactly what we need. Good hunting. With a pat on your shoulder, Feng drifts away, back into the flow of people around the shipyard entrance. You watch him go, unsure whether to be angry or impressed. Are you going to get rid of my tracker? Oh, I got another upgrade. Alright, I want +1 to... Well, let's get rid of our -1 to Intuit. Do I keep that? I could get a +1 to Engineer. This one would guess good for data. Ooh, I could go up. Okay. This one displays outcomes. I'm gonna go +1 here. Okay. Buy a ship mine fragment. Need to go to the ore exchange though, right? Because yeah, I need one more here. So let's do this. Okay, cool. Ort fabricator, yes. So now I could fabricate a ship mind. I have to have 3 shipyard fragments. Which those... Oh, I do need to go here. Noise. Alright, so you have ship mind fragments. 60 a pop, which is a lot. Why is this locked? Because I need a skill upgrade. I see. Guess I'll just buy one. Kinda need it. And work a shift. Do that. And I need to eat. Let's go up to Memphis. Let's have me some fungus. Sleeper, Memphis calls out to you, a booming voice that echoes through the corridor. Tell me a story. Throws a handful of chopped mushrooms into his wok, the fire leaping up to meet the oil. I see you, cycle in, cycle out, but we never speak. Tell me a story. Why? I like stories. He pauses to drizzle something from a plastic bottle into the wok. I like people. I like stories. You pause, the spice is rich in your nostrils, and think about the kind of story you'd like to tell Memphis. You look at Memphis, the listener, and imagine he has heard it all before. Perhaps he would enjoy a strange story. Something with some spice. Ghost story or dreams? Is the ghost story like the hunter? You start simple. You tell Memphis about the routines and structures of life as a sleeper, the SNARP assignments, the freezing cold transport shuttles, the endless tedious days of work. You make it almost sound normal, as if you weren't all also struggling with your new bodies, your fractured minds, your harrowing depersonalization. This is for effect. Then you explain one assignment, a scrap detail in a facility left to rot for hundreds of cycles. The idea, you tell Memphis, was to rip the place to pieces, turn it all to scrap, and load it into freighters. Most of it was machine work, but they sent a couple of you down deep into the facility on a special order to find the mainframe and disconnect it. You leave a dramatic pause for emphasis' sake. You lean in a little so the smoke of cooking fills your nostrils, and you tell him of the way the place moved, the way it shifted and changed in front of you, the way corridors twisted and pulsed like intestines, and at the rotten heart of it all, you tell him what you found. An empty suit, from which erupted a mass of metal like a tree, like a forest. Great trunks of ribbed steel exploding from the faceplate, buttresses of silicon stretching up into the shadows, and a mainframe that screamed when you cut it out. Memphis finishes cooking and squints a little at you. Sleeper, he smiles. You're quite the storyteller. He eyes you, and you realize that he is trying to gauge how honest you have been in your story. Memphis passes you the meal he has cooked, and you take it gratefully. As you eat, he talks, a natural exchange. Thank you, Sleeper. He looks around at the empty market. My time is done for today, and I don't want to keep you longer, so I'll make a proposal. These are good enough for most, but someone told me a story that made me think a couple of cycles ago. They said that across the gap, in the Greenway, fresh mushrooms grow. Have you heard this? No. Neither had I, but I trust the one who told me. Memphis begins packing up his things. Can you bring me some? I cannot cross the gap, and I worry about leaving my things behind. I am sure a storyteller like you could handle the trip. I will prepare them for you, and, if you wish to tell it, be the audience for another story. And I will wait for you to bring them. Memphis slides his work away and straightens up. I will prepare a recipe then, Sleeper. Good luck with your foraging. You turn away and walk back into the main market, the rich taste of Memphis' food still lingering in your mouth. Stories for food, you think. A trade that seems more than fair. Alright, so I need to get to the Greenway, which is past this stupid Yadigan shit. I feel like there's a way. Hunter is really freaking up. How do I get him down? I can't remember. So he still hasn't freaking got the tracker. And this guy is gonna show up before. Okay, that sucks, man. Alright, let's just do this. Gotta go to sleep. Alright, let's do some hull repairs. Ankita is crouched in the computing core of the ambergris, swearing to herself when you enter. She doesn't look up. These shits completely ruin the core's connectors when they cut it. The ship mine they ripped won't even be usable without replacing these. Amateurs. Can we repair it? Nothing to repair. We need an entire ship mine. Not exactly the first thing you can expect to dredge up from a scrap freighter. Fragments maybe, sections of a mine, but a complete ship mine? No way. Ankita climbs out of the cooling well where the ship mine should be, the space suddenly crowded with her on the same level as you, towering over you as she stoops beneath the low curved ceiling. Come on, nothing to be done here now. She leads you back through the guts of Amber, though you could find the way back yourself. The repair process has left you familiar with the cutter's idiosyncratic layout. All diagonal angles and bundled tubes. Excuse me. What do we do now? Ankita seems lost in thought, and you focus on the corridors, ducking below conduits and passing through bulkheads. Eventually you arrive in the galley, though it's hard to tell. Most of the benches and prep surfaces are covered in half-stripped components and welded hole patches. Ankita shoves a box of filters to the floor and sits. There's no way around it. She starts out of nowhere. We need a new ship mine. Where from? Scrap freighter, Ord Exchange, hell, find one in the Overlook bathroom. Doesn't matter where, just matters that we get one. She rubs her forehead. Seems I'm about to do something very stupid. But hey, I came here, didn't I? Why not make a run of it? Sleeper, you're all I've got. No crew, no friends, you're it. She looks uncomfortable. I appreciate the time you've put in on Amber, and I'm sure she would too if she could. What I'm saying is, if you screw me on this, I will kill you. She leans over and hands you a stack of chits. A big stack of chits. You don't dare to count them. Give me that ship mine, Sleeper. Don't make me regret this. You won't. Look, just get out of here before I change my mind. You slip out of the galley and head back towards the main lock. As you do, Amber growls and creaks like a caged animal. You reach a hand out to Gomer. Trying to find Ankita a ship mine. Somehow. Alright, well I'm partway there, so now I have plenty more to buy this, but they only have 2 at a time and I need 3. So how do I get another one? Shipyard would be my best bet. Fuck yeah, okay. Lemon Mina, Unit Assembly, Haven Age Officers. Tracking yet again. Okay, a slate. Okay, for data. I don't think I have. No, I don't have any Yadigan data. Unit Assembly. Side Real Horizon is assembled block by block. Earned a place on the teams. Side Real Horizon is webbed with complex systems. Job is to lay these systems in. Give yourself reliable tech and you are in the junior tech in the as welder's mate. You have a spot supporting the weld team. Good place to prove you know how to put a ship together. Make it a 3. Alright, Lem and Mina. From the walkway, the sidereal horizon looks impossibly vast. A landscape of plating and frames. All along her flanks, torches flicker, drones maneuver, arc lights glint. The sense of scale of industry is both stunning and strangely unsettling. She's quite beautiful, I think. You turn to see a figure a little way down the walkway, leaning at the railing. He is thin, ragged, his work gear poorly fitting and loose. The torches of the sidereal horizon flicker in his eyes as he turns to you. Lem. He leans back from the rail, revealing a child standing beside him, staring out at the ship. And this is Mina. Hi, Mina. She stares and tucks herself behind Lem, who dutifully picks her up. She's a little slow to trust, aren't you, Mina? She buries her face in the folds of his overalls. Mina looks out from Lem's chest, a dark brown eye twinkling among the rough material. You working on her then? Lem asks eagerly, gesturing to the vast ship, or just admiring? Working. Me too. I knew it just to look at you. Stumbles all over his words, not wanting to be misunderstood. You look like a worker. She's Mina's and my ticket out of this place. Our escape vector, so to speak. Ship? You haven't heard? Anyone who takes a Haven Age contract on the sidereal horizon will be entered into a draw for the transit support crew. We won't get to sleep the journey through, but a couple of decades of service will be nothing for me and Mina if it means landfall in a new world. Damn. God, that sucks. It's a long trip. He straightens up, stretching his back. That's a colony ship, friend. The Salus Foundation is sending thousands of people to settle a system well outside the reach of the core worlds. It'll be a totally independent colony. No surrogacy, no corporations. Salus Foundation? They're Haven Age's client, yeah. Some wealthy project from the core systems, interested in independence and self-sufficiency and all that. They hired the whole shipyard out, helped rekit it and everything. He strokes Mina's hair. Someone else's dream, I suppose, but doesn't mean people like me and Mina can't tag along. Mina responds by pushing his hand away. Daddy, she whispers. Food. Pulling an exaggerated grumpy face. She glances furtively at you as she plays with a set of dog tags that hang from Lem's neck. I'm just chatting a little, Meanie. Give Daddy a sec. He turns back to you, and you suddenly notice how tired he looks. I'm not on the Haven Age crew yet, but I'll work my way in. You can do it too, friend. We have to stick together. He smiles a little shakily, and you wonder how long he's been working to break into the official shipyard crew. I'm working on it. He looks out at the sidereal horizon, as if trying to pull energy from those flickering torches from the vast hole. You've got to hold out, okay? You're not quite sure if he's talking to you. That's how it works. While he stares out, Mina catches your eye curiously. You agree, Mina? She straightens up and meets your eye. Daddy loves me. She says it stubbornly, daring you to question her. Lem smiles and lifts Mina. That's it. We hold on. He smiles sheepishly at you. We are just a couple of softies. Isn't that right, Mina? He sets her down, standing by his side, and she clings to his leg. Gotta go feed this one. Pats her back. Maybe see you on a shift, huh? He turns, and they walk down the walkway, away from the shipyard. You see them talking, and then a moment later, Mina turns around and stops. See you, robot. Her shout echoes down the walkway, and she flashes you a parting smile before running to catch up with Lem. You watch them a little before you turn back to the impossible scale of the sidereal horizon. A ticket out. I ain't going nowhere. You drive. Oh, win a sidereal ticket. I was like, I couldn't see it. Alright. Drago is getting ready to kick me out, and I don't have a job here yet, so let's do a shift here. The griot slides from the bottle into the lumpy recycled glass, a pale grassy yellow under the overlook's warm lights. The spacer nods and takes the drink, bringing it up to their face in both hands like an offering bowl. This is the good stuff. The stuff Tala says is aged in wooden casks, stored in some closed-off part of the old station, among corroded wires and softly looping systems. Though sometimes it is hard to tell if Tala is joking. Either way, you like pouring this stuff. It gets on your fingers, and if you rub them together, you can smell the mossy drink, cut through with aniseed, mushrooms, wood, as the alcohol evaporates. You like those who order it too. The aged grill is kept beneath the bar, open to order only by those who know it's there, like the quiet spacer sitting at the bar right now. Busy yourself. Pull a rag from your overalls and wipe down the bar, the grill smell lifting then disappearing into the stale station air. The overlook is quiet this cycle. The salvagers busy offloading, the regulars likely at the ore exchange or queuing for work at the Heaven Age shipyards. You are in the right mood for a quiet shift. Some cycles drag along, the overlook empty and claustrophobic, but this one has caught you just right, and in this moment, some kind of calm has descended as you tinker away at the bar, lining up the bottles as your thoughts expand to fill the space. Suddenly, you hear a heavy clunking at the door. It creaks open and a huge cylindrical metal tank tumbles through, slamming into the floor. Shit! Tala breezes in from behind it, a whirl of hair and bright eyes. Shit. Tala? Sleeper! She ducks behind the bar and comes over. Can you help me with this? How did you get that up here? Are you gonna help me or what? You come around the bar and get to one side of the tank. Okay. On my count. 1, 2, 3. You both heave the tank up to standing, somehow. Hold it in place, struggling to keep it steady. Where is this going? In the back, comes a voice from behind the tank. Somehow you manage to lug the huge thing into the back room, where you place it in one corner, dwarfing the rest of the contents in the cramped space. As you do, you hear a crunch. You stand back and look at the expired rations oozing out from under the tank. Oh shit, Tala looks at you apologetically. I know you like those. That's okay. You push the crushed rations to one side. That's the end of that. Tala looks exhausted and rubs her shoulders. Francis, I swear to... Something up? Yes, she sighs. He was supposed to be back from Eteen's up in the Greenway by now. Back with our grill. She leans against the tank. Seems like he's got lost again. Or joined the Haifa commune. We need that girl. There's 4 other bars near here. And the spacers sure as hell don't come to the Overlook for the ambience. She looks through the open door to check if anyone can hear her. She knocks on the hollow tank. So I'm taking matters into my own hands, she smiles. Welcome, sleeper, to the Overlook Distillery. Look around the dank back room. You must be joking. Where's your imagination? This'll work. I might need some help, though. She shrugs. You up for it? She knocks on the tank again. Could be fun. Happy to help. Okay. I'm excited. I reckon we chop this thing in half. One half for fermentation, the other we turn into a still. We'll also need to gather the ingredients. She turns back and looks at you. You look more like a chopper than a gatherer. She smiles. So how about you build the still and tub while I work on the rest? Oh wait, sleeper, I have an idea. Tala is grinning now and is making you nervous. To make up for the rations. How about we put a kitchen in here too? Kitchen? Uh-huh. I always wanted to serve food. She turns back to the tank. This is going to be great, she says to herself. You look at the dented tank in the bare room. At least she has vision. Tala nudges you out of the back room and closes the door. As you go back to the bar, you hear the banging and thumping begin. The spacer finishes up their drink and nods in your direction as they leave. You can't quite tell if it's... Oops, I clicked. I didn't mean to click. I didn't get to finish reading that. New drive. Oh, improve the overlook. I was like, I can't find it. Alright, so they don't have any more. Do kind of need to eat. Still need a core. So the only way is to pay my way up there. I don't want to do that. Maybe I guess I'll help Dragos so he doesn't kick me out. It's risky, but we'll do this. Okay. And we're gonna run into the hunter after this. Or the tracker. I should say. The hunter's the AI thing. Oh, I'm starving. Did not realize that. That's my bad. Oof. Okay, I gotta go eat. I could sunbathe. Okay, let's... Alright, cool. There he is, Ethan. Hold it there, sleeper. Comes a voice from behind you. Don't you run. Do we run? I kind of want to run. Let's run. A strike across your back knocks you face down onto the floor. Told you not to run, idiot. Ethan pulls you up. He is wearing a wide smirk and a slick jacket, and you immediately know he is terrible news. You got all the way out here, and then stayed put? He laughs a cruel laugh. That a sleeper thing? You're my first. You barely hear him. You've noticed the handgun he has leveled at your chest, and it's hard to take your eyes off it. He reaches down with his other hand and slips some kind of ring out from a belt loop without taking his eyes off you. Making it to the eye, though, that's pretty good. This place isn't so bad. Bars, markets, people. I pull most of my contracts out of asteroid caves or off of godforsaken moons. He splits the ring into 2 perfect circles. It's hard to hit civilization when there's so much space to pass through. Who are you? Just a freelancer on a contract. He reaches over to slide the rings around your wrist. Go easy. Make a break for it. You see a chance the moment his eyes leave you to watch the rings. You spin, knocking him away and sprinting down the corridor. Then the shot rings out, echoing off the metal so loud it hurts your ears. A bullet hole smokes in the wall beside your head. You freeze and Ethan closes the gap. This is a very boring routine. Trust me, I've seen it all before. He slips the rings over your trembling wrists. Ethan nudges you to start walking. To the ship and home, he whistles, going easy. You stumble down the corridor, your hands behind you, your mind racing. Who hired you? Your daddy's at SNARP. They want you home for dinner. Ethan yawns and continues to nudge you down the corridor. Shame to come all the way out here just to head back to SNARP right away. The tracker of yours makes this too quick. Was hoping you'd put up a bit more of a chase, you know? A running battle through the bright market maybe, or a holdout in the low end. There's a few establishments I would have enjoyed checking out while I asked around. You walk on in silence for a little longer, desperately trying to think of a way to escape. That SNARP tracker will be the death of you. Hey, I have an idea. Ethan interrupts your thoughts. How about on the way back to the ship, we stop for a drink? I'm buying. He laughs at his own joke. I have a better idea. It's better not be one of those where you do a dramatic pause and then try to jump me, because I'm pretty tired of that. Although, muses Ethan, I've got myself thinking, what's the rush here? Here we are in one of the most lawless joints in the surrogate systems, and we are heading for the exit. He pauses, and you trudge on in silence. Okay, here's the idea. You and me, we make a little agreement. Here are the terms. You run, or leave, or try to abandon the eye, I shoot you. You plot or scheme, you try to kill me, I shoot you. But, he smiles, you come meet me at an establishment of my choice every few cycles and you pay my tab. I don't shoot you. He pauses. You don't pay my tab. He rattles his handgun. You get the idea. You're letting me go? Not at all. Let's call it open custody. You are free to mooch around the eye as long as you keep paying up. You know, I really thought I was going to have to kill you, but this is so much better. He clicks something at his belt and the rings release from your wrists. Gonna see if I can find my old stool at the compressor club. Come see me there. He aims the handgun at you, squinting down the sight. Let me just remind you, that body of yours is one big tracker, so don't even think about leaving the eye. I'll know. Ethan turns and strides off down the corridor, slipping his handgun away. The mix of relief and terror you feel is overwhelming. What are you gonna do? Alright. I think I've reached the point that my body needs to lay down again. I'm so tired of laying down, guys. You have no idea. suppressor. Yeah, it's this tab. Okay. Oh. Um. 9 seconds since last autosave. Okay. Oh, that quit the whole game. I thought it was gonna bring me back to main menu. Whoops. Yes, my bad. Is that why they call you the sleeper? Yeah, because I can't stay out of bed for longer than 3 hours without needing to return. Actually, I've been out of bed for a while. Let's move me up a little. I've been out of bed for a while. I just been talking for the past 3 hours, and I think that's taken its toll. So it might be lay down time. Feed the pets and lay down. It is almost midnight, so. I don't have music. I hate that it pauses if I'm not on the tab for a certain amount of time. Very annoying and inconvenient. Well, thank you guys for joining me on this stream. For having some Citizen Sleeper fun. I love the game. I really do need to get the second one. See what's different in it. I'm actually surprised the cat isn't bothering me about wanting to eat treats. It is quite late. So the rabbit is also like, why haven't I been fed yet? Trying to think, tomorrow I need to go to the store and I need to cook stuff. I don't know if I'll stream. And then I'm going somewhere at night. Maybe when I get done with my writing club meetup, we can stream? I don't know. We'll see. Sunday night, or Sunday. Why did I say Sunday? Wednesday. During the day, I'm gone. Thursday and Friday, I will be at the beach. Saturday, I want to go yard sailing Saturday. I work every Saturday, so I haven't been yard sailing this year at all because I have to work every Saturday morning. So I'm going to be very excited to be off this coming Saturday, and I might try to find some yard sales. But thank you guys. I will see y'all when I see y'all. I would make a schedule, but apparently when I make a schedule, my body decides to get sick, so I can't keep it. But I'll see you guys next time. Stay sinning. I appreciate each and every one of you who came to stream, who talked. Night night. I hope you sleep well. I hope I sleep well. We'll see if that happens. It's a very hard thing to achieve. But bye bye.